Welcome, people who are my friends and other people who are not. You know who you are, to the Binding of Isaac Repentance, a brand new Binding of Isaac DLC, something I've been looking forward to for a very long time. Now, before we dive in, I want to say up front here that the first couple of episodes are going to be an explanation, a tutorial, a slow introduction to some of the mechanics for those of you who, say, have never seen this game before, never played it, or not really played it much. And for the rest of you, you can laugh at how much about this game I've forgotten. So the Binding of Isaac is kind of the roguelike. It's the one that spawned the new era of roguelikes with your nuclear thrones, your enter the dungeons, etc. This was the kind of original one many years ago. It's a 2D roguelike dungeon crawler, essentially. You kill enemies, you pick up items, and sometimes things change. You either win or you die, and you go back and try again. And that's essentially how the gameplay will run here, especially for the new DLC, which I don't know anything about, so there's going to be a lot more maybe of the dying than the winning side of things. It's also one of the highest reviewed games on Steam of, like, all time. 98% of 114,000 reviews are positive. It's also the 10th most played game on Steam right now, which is insane. It's beating some real big esports titles. For those of you who don't know as well, I've played this well, obviously not the DLC, but I've played this game a ridiculous amount. I'm up to, I know that for some people this won't be a lot, but 1,500 hours in Isaac as it stands right now, which is only a measly half the hours I've got in RimWorld, so what am I talking about? So you might also note on this screen, you can press tab for a daily challenge, and the daily challenge is essentially you do a run, the same as absolutely everyone else in the world, and there is a leaderboard for who scores the highest. There was a very brief time in my gaming career where I ascended, long before I started the channel and started reading the comment section and losing all my IQ. There was a time where I genuinely used to be able to set top 50 scores, top 20 scores on very rare occasions. I'll pull up some old screenshots if I can find them from many years ago. But that is something I don't think I'm going to be capable of anymore because I haven't played in a very long time. Anyway, what we're going to do here is we're going to dive in with our very basic character, Isaac, and I'll explain what some of this kind of cacophony of symbols on the screen there. You can see over at the right-hand side, there is different kind of game mode selection. There's normal, hard, greed, and greedier. Greed and greedier are an entirely separate game mode where the game is a lot more condensed, and it's all about combat. We're going to play on the regular game mode, normal and hard, and if you do play this, that'll be pretty much 99% of what you play, to be honest with you. I'm going to play on hard mode. Hard mode, certain enemies hit harder, and there are some other side effects, but for the most part, you can only unlock certain items by playing on hard mode. And again, we're going to play as Isaac, but there's a whole selection of characters here if you want to play as those guys instead, which of course we will as the series progresses. I'll explain a little bit about the UI then. Keep things real basic. Top left-hand corner is your mini-map. The actual game world itself is, and if you played the original Legend of Zelda, this will probably look a little bit familiar. The game mode itself is made up of a selection of rooms and floors. Each dungeon has a certain amount of rooms. Rooms can be various sized. They're filled with enemies, traps, obstacles. There are on each floor, generally, a treasure room, a shop, and a boss room. There are other bonus rooms as well, but we won't talk about those just to not overwhelm things too much. In your treasure room, you'll get an item which allows you to upgrade your build and change your character, get new ways to attack, or just generally new items. You'll see that as we progress here. Then in the shop, you can spend some of your hard-earned money, at which point we have absolutely zero, because that's the life of a YouTuber. And then the final room, generally on every dungeon, is the boss room, which is where you will beat the boss, get an item, and go down to the next floor. And obviously, floors get harder as you progress down them. In the top left, you have the active item that your current character has. So there are two different types of items. Passive items, which are just things that you can pick up and will become a permanent part of your character. Then there are active items. Generally, you can only carry one of those. There are certain exceptions, but I won't worry about that too much. For the most part, you'll only ever be able to carry one of those. In this situation, Isaac starts with the D6, and the D6 is an item that lets you reroll other items into items of the same room type. Don't worry too much about that. Next to that is the charge bar. So you can see there are 6 little pips on the green bar there in between the health and the item. That means that you'll need to clear 6 rooms to recharge the item. Bigger rooms are worth more charge. There are other kind of caveats to that, but again, don't worry about that too much right now. Next to that is our health. Each one of those hearts are made up of 2 segments. Certain enemies will do kind of half a heart's worth of damage. Certain items will require kind of half a heart payment and things like that. After a certain point in the game, and in hard mode especially, some enemies will be able to deal a whole heart worth of damage. And when you get deep enough, they will always deal a whole heart worth of damage. So you have to be very careful about that. Then for our consumable items, we've got coins, bombs, and keys. No coins, 1 bomb, and a single key. Isaac starts with a bomb. I should also point out different characters will start with different active items as well. Not all of them will have an active item, but that's a big thing that differentiates between each character. Then in the middle left column, you've got all of your stats. Now this is extra information that you can turn on in the options menu, and I would highly recommend it if you're only starting. It might seem a little overwhelming, but it's a really good way to learn some of the effects of items that aren't necessarily so obvious. So starting from the top and working down, the top icon of the boot is your speed, essentially, how fast your character moves. Second is your range, so how far your shots will fly. Third one is your damage, so in this case we've got 3.5 damage. That's how much each tier that you fire out there actually does to an enemy. Your next stat is your tears stat. It's tears delay. So that is how fast you can fire tears. Essentially the delay between one tier firing from your character and the next. So eventually you can get really rapid with it, or you say you pick up an item that maybe gives you a lot of damage, might reduce how fast you can actually fire tears out of your little sad face. The next one is shot speed, so how fast your tears will fly. That's the kind of a ball with the action lines coming off it there. The 3-leaf clover, for some reason, is luck. Luck effects, say item drops and things like that. And then the next 2 items are deal with the devil and deal with the angel, which you'll see. Special rooms, essentially, where you can get very special items after you beat a boss if certain conditions are fulfilled. That's why those are a percentage. We'll see that as we go ahead. And you can get a more brief overview of that by pressing escape and coming to the main menu here. You kind of see that it sort of correlates over, but it's nowhere near as detailed. So I personally prefer to have that on. Should we get to work then? We're already 4 minutes behind, and certain things in the game only happen if you get there within a timely manner. So we'll probably forget about that. It would be nice to see them, obviously, as this kind of tutorial episode. Now here's, oh dear. Here's the first thing I've noticed. The DLC content. Obviously, I've never played it before, right? Those guys are new, which I was absolutely not expecting. The DLC adds kind of alternate flaws to the game. We won't worry about them for the time being. That'll be something for the future, because again, I don't want to overwhelm maybe those of you who've never seen this too much. I wasn't expecting them to be in just the regular game. So those guys were absolutely new, and that might make it quite difficult to tutorialize if I'm not sure what the hell is going on, which to be fair is very on brand with the channel. So this guy right here, if you can't guess, gives you 10 bombs. So I'm going to use Isaac's item, mainly just to kind of show you guys what's going on here. But we're going to press spacebar to use his item and re-roll that into an entirely new item. Now this item here I know is also garbage. This is Monstro's Tooth. When you use the spacebar, it will now summon a guy who will basically crush some enemies for you, which is good. But it's not as good, in my opinion, as having control over every single item, more or less, that you're able to pick up for the future. So we're definitely going to go get that back. But with active items, we can just re-roll that one too until we get something that we maybe are able to take permanently in the form of a passive item. You can see that that one also only had 3 charges, whereas the dice has 6. Now this room here is a special room. This is a curse room. It's got big old spikes on the door. And big old spikes mean big old pain. So when you go in, you do take a little bit of damage. This one's a bit of a weird one. Got a couple buttons in here. Buttons, you have no idea what they do. They're generally... Oh, I got stuck. Completely random effects. We good? No, we are very much not good. That was a bit bullshit. And then there's also a red chest in here too, which will... Red chests are kind of a gamble chest. Not necessarily good. For the most part, they generally tend to be bad. Yeah, this one just happened to have a couple of spiders in it. So for 2.5 hearts, we got absolutely nothing to show for it. Now, the other thing to introduce as well is secret rooms. So, certain rooms, and generally when you played the game enough, you'll just kind of recognize them. Certain rooms will have a fake wall, essentially, that you can bomb your way through. For example, right there. And that will take you to a secret room. This secret room is pretty terrible if you don't have any bombs, but if you have bombs, you can blow up these mushrooms, maybe get some mushroom-related goodies. This guy has coins in his eyes, so if you blow him up, you will get some coins from him, essentially. We'll have to go back there if we get some bombs. And if we survive, that's a bit more important. The other thing to mention is that Isaac has had quite a significant amount of DLC since I last played it. Now, I last played it when the last big DLC came out, but since then there's been a load of what they call booster packs, which are kind of minor DLC that they gave out for free. The only problem is I didn't play any of those booster packs. So there could be a lot of items that I just don't recognize that aren't necessarily part of the new DLC, but are in fact part of an old one. So again, just bear with me as I kind of get to grips with this game that I haven't played in a long-ass time. So generally, this is how most of the floors are going to be laid out. You'll fight a selection of random enemies in a selection of random rooms, pick up items, and try not to die. Curse rooms, for the most part, I don't know if I would recommend them all the time. Particularly in this new DLC, where I've read a lot about how they have been nerfed kind of heavily. They used to be pretty good. There are certain items which you will find in curse rooms that are very powerful, but obviously the curse rooms are a gamble to balance that out. And here we have our first boss. Sorry, as muscle memory there, skipping over the boss intros, but I'll try and let you guys see the next one. This guy is Littlehorn. And to be honest, I mean, the first floor bosses are generally very easy with the exception of maybe one or two. But this guy is definitely one of the easier ones for sure. He's quite unpredictable, though, so for new players... I've seen a lot of new players actually kind of struggle with this guy quite a lot, because not this particular version of the guy, but he can get quite aggressive. Now, there are variants of bosses, too, depending on the kind of hue that they have, the color that they have, they can do certain effects. So there's a red Littlehorn, for example, which will cause fire to spawn, and he'll throw a lot of bombs everywhere. That one is one of the easier Littlehorns that we had. Bosses also drop items from a specific boss item pool, so these are generally... your baseline upgrades, right? So bosses will drop items to kind of allow you to progress at the bare minimum. This item happens to be very good. So this item, Squeezy, will give you a tears up. Oh my god, they've changed the stats. I've lied to you. They've reordered it. So I said the second one was range. It's absolutely not. That's your tears stat. Oh wow, that's strange. So it used to be that started at 10 and counted down. The lower your tears, the better. But now it's the opposite. Oh, weird. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to put a note on screen when I edit that and just say, hey, the DLC's changed it, stupid. God, ruining my things. Back in my day. So you might also notice that's Basement 2, Curse of the Unknown. Now, certain floors will also have certain curses. This curse, as you can see, hides our health. There are some curses that are way worse than others. Curse of the Unknown isn't a bad one. A notable one is... I'm trying to talk and play at the same time, and I'm not used to this quite yet. A notable one is very much Curse of the Maze. Curse of the Maze is a real pain in the ass, because that one, as you move between rooms, there's a chance that the map will just be randomized. Not the whole floor, but one room will swap with another. And that can really, really throw you off. Curse of the Lost is my personal least favorite. Curse of the Lost basically removes your minimap. And on bigger floors, generally the longer you play, the bigger floors become, with the floors right at the bottom of the game being the largest ones. Wow, I'm playing like crap here because I'm trying to talk. I'll get used to it. Don't worry. But yeah, the Curse of the Lost is definitely my personal least favorite. Especially when you get down to those much larger floors with pretty tough enemies. Why are you that shade of blue? What does that mean? That's a new shade of blue. Generally, the light blue enemies are the ones that explode into bullets, but maybe they've just made it a darker shade of blue now. I don't know. Might be more colorblind friendliness, I guess. So we're going to go into the boss fight already. We haven't picked up our item from this floor, but generally, with the first couple of floors, don't worry about it too much. I am going to go back and get the item, just so that you guys can get a good feel for a lot of the items. Gurglings. These guys are... pretty easy. They're not the easiest of the early floor bosses, but they're pretty easy. You used to be able to, when it first came out, just cling to this wall and move up and down, and they used to not charge at you. But basically, as long as you're prepared to move up and down in a hurry, these guys aren't much of a problem. Now, the thing they have on the floor there, you see that kind of glowing trail that they leave as they charge? That's called creep. And creep, if you walk on it, will do damage. There are certain other types of creep, like creep that slows you down, but the glowing red one will damage you. Now, those blue doors you see at the left-hand side, that's from the DLC. That's a new thing. I don't even know what that is. So we're not going to touch it for the time being. What we do have, though, is this nice room up here, the Deal with the Devil. So our second stat from the bottom for that entire floor was 100%. If you get hit and take red heart damage, you will lose your Deal with the Devil. But we picked up Squeezy that dropped those blue hearts, which are soul hearts. Should have really explained that at the time. Soul hearts are a real nice buffer. They essentially protect your red hearts from taking damage and losing that Deal with the Devil. But they can, at the end of the game, be a little detrimental for reasons that I hope we'll see during this run. Now, Deal with the Devils generally will contain items which you trade your red hearts for. Apparently, it's been rebalanced in the new DLC so that instead of trading red hearts, you will trade a mixture of hearts. So the way it used to work is when you ran out of red hearts, you would trade your spirit hearts away for it, or your soul hearts, or whatever you want to call them. But now they've made it so you trade a mixture, so it's definitely made the deals with the devil a lot more risky, for sure. These items are functionally the same as spirit hearts, but when they break, when you take enough damage to break one, they will do a load of damage to all the enemies in the same room as you. So that was pretty nice, to be fair. Now, this item I specifically left on the pedestal, dog food. You pick it up, you gain a red heart. I don't think we necessarily want too many red hearts for reasons you'll see towards the end of the game, but we're gonna re-roll this. Because again, like I said, a lot of the boss room items generally are your baseline run upgrades, so they'll give good tiers upgrades like Squeezy did, or maybe a little bit of damage, maybe some speed. Things that you'll generally need to survive, just to ensure you've always got that good baseline survivability. Not every item starts, and not every character, I should say, starts with, obviously, the reroll item that Isaac has, so it can be a lot harder to curate your run with other characters, which is why those are kind of balanced to always provide that. We are getting a little bit unfortunate so far that we haven't had any kind of damage upgrades or anything like that, but generally we won't worry about it too much until we get a few floors in. If we get a few floors in and we get items like the safety pin there that gave us like a shot speed upgrade, something generally quite useless, then I'd be a bit more concerned. The side effect of the safety pin, you can't see it because we've got that curse, is it also gives you a black heart. One of the ones that, when they explode... What do you do? I remember what you do. It sprinkles. You put it on the floor and it will shoot tears automatically. Again, we don't really want that. I'd much rather have our D6 and a passive item instead. So we'll see if we can re-roll that. Might be fairly tricky, because we've only got one room left on this floor, and obviously we need 3 more charges for our dice. So we'll go and visit the shop in a second as well. Now, the shop might contain all sorts of collectible items. One collectible item we haven't seen so far is the battery. Batteries, when you collect them, will generally fully recharge your item. There are certain exceptions, because there are certain items with, like, a ridiculous level of charge. A battery at that point will only charge it. There are genuine items with, like, 20 bars of charge. Or 12, I don't remember. Oh, there it is. Nice. Okay, so we'll use that to reroll the other item. So this one costs us 15 coins. If we were able to buy that, I probably would. That's the stopwatch. When you get hit, enemies slow down. In certain situations, especially the bullet hell enemies, that can be a bit of a pain in the ass. That is also terrible. Teleport. You press the spacebar, it teleports you to a random room. Wow, this is not the nicest of starting runs, I won't lie. Thank God for Squeezy, otherwise we would be in a weird situation right now. So let's go down to the next floor then. And the same thing applies to the next floor. Now, because we took well, we didn't technically take a deal with the devil on this floor. We didn't trade any hearts. So that's going to affect the chance of another deal of the devil appearing. You see now it's 16.9 and 16.9 for both devil and angel deals. The angel deals used to be kind of underpowered compared to the devil deals, which is why for the most part you would ignore them. But in this, they may have rebalanced it quite significantly, because that was always a big complaint of people, that people would always go for devil deals and very rarely angel deals. So it wouldn't surprise me if they have rebalanced it so those are a bit more significant now. We'll see how it goes. But because we essentially ignored a devil deal, we didn't really have a choice, we do have a chance at an angel deal this time. Similarly, there are items that can increase your chance of a deal with the devil, and also increase the chance of a deal with the angel. There's one item that's quite highly valued called Goat Head, which gives you a guaranteed deal with the devil on every single floor. You generally get it from those red curse rooms chests that we saw earlier, or you actually can get it from a deal with the devil itself. I also think out of golden chests too. Oh, well, speak of the devil. So here's your deal with the angel. This again will only spawn if you didn't take that previous deal with the devil. So what have we got here then? We've got the mitre that increases the chance of the blue hearts. We've got this thing here, which I actually don't recognize at all. Or we've got an angel baby, which I believe is an orbital. It'll fly around you and it'll block tears coming in. Because I know what it does, I'm going to take the mitre. Because the mitre is actually pretty good and will genuinely keep us alive a lot longer. Now, this room here has a gold chest, red chest, grey chest. But, as you can see, it's got that kind of cross swords above the door. If we open one of these chests, it will start spawning enemies that we have to kill. I'm going to go for it. Because I think it'll be kind of worth it this level. Oh my god, they've retextured the bombfly. Why does he look so innocent? You might think he looks sweet and innocent, but holy crap, these things are hell on wings. There's a particular room where it's just quite literally a straight line vertically between doors. And the room genuinely has like 6 of those bombflies. And it's hell. Those guys suck. So we'll kill the room and then we'll see what our other 2 chests have in them. Just in case the red chest teleports us to the angel room again. I want to make sure we've cleared this room first. Otherwise, if we come back, we've got to fight it again, you know? Just being overly cautious. Which, for people who watch my RimWorld stuff, it's going to be night and day. Okay, what have we got in here then? A bunch of coins, and in you, we've got spiders. Thank you. Boy, that was a great deal. So you notice as we go down as well, we're on the Catacombs 1 right now. Every 2 floors you progress, until you get to the late game, will generally have a distinct theme. So what I mean by that is you'll get 2 floors of the first one, which was the basement. Then you'll get 2 floors of the Catacombs, or a kind of similarly designed level to the Catacombs. Then you get 2 floors of the depths, or again, a similarly designed floor to the depths. And those floors will have kind of similar difficulty. So the 2 basement floors are obviously way easier than these depths floors are on. The depths floors we're on right now will be a lot easier than... Oh, sorry, the Catacombs floors we're on now will be a lot easier than the depths floor we eventually get to. Then you get a few unique levels after that. But we'll see it as we go. I have high confidence I can at least win a run, despite the fact that I haven't touched this game properly in a very long time. Generally, with Isaac, the more you play it, the easier it becomes. And I know that sounds very obvious, but I don't mean that in the sense that the more you play it, the easier it becomes because you learn, you know, how to play. You learn how to move and how to dodge bullets. Though that is true, a lot of it comes from just knowing the rooms and good items to pick up. What item combinations work well together. We haven't had a way to actually really see that quite yet. But certain items work in tandem. So this game is all about synergies. Moldy bread out of a... That's not right at all. Moldy bread gives you a red heart. I don't want that, so I'm going to re-roll it. You know what? We'll take you. Bobby Bomb gives homing bombs. It also gives you a few extra bombs as well. We will go into this curse room just to see what's in there. Some friendly flies. Wow. We've got really unlucky with these curse chests. Granted, it used to be... I won't get too inside baseball. I used to know, like, all the stats, but we won't get too into it. It used to be a 14.5% chance to get a particular archetype of items from a curse chest called Guppy items. We won't worry about explaining those or anything quite yet. So we haven't got that unlucky, but it's kind of surprising that they've all been equally the shit, because you can also from curse chest get more heart items too. You know, more spirit hearts, that type of thing, which is which would be quite nice in this situation. Granted, we're not doing terrible for hit points. So they haven't changed these rooms too much in the DLC, luckily. Otherwise, we would be in a lot of trouble here. Oh, that was bad. So this is all muscle memory at this point. But again, learning how the items work, learning how the game kind of expects you to use items in tandem with one another definitely is the real secret to success in Isaac. Not learning how the rooms work or learning how to avoid enemies, evidently, because I'm not doing that. Wow, this room sucks. Holy crap. Yeah, you know what? That was probably worth the black heart. Wow, I'm taking a shitload of damage now. Spoke a little too soon with that. Let's go and find our item room then. Okay, what have you got for me? Fart baby. I would rather not actually take Farty Baby. This guy follows you around. If he's hit by a bullet, he will fart. Why did I do that? Oh, you know what? It might pay off. It's a key. Wow, 2 keys and 2 bombs. So this is a massive gamble. Oh, boy. You know, it could be okay. Shot speed down. Oh. So that item we got out of the chest there was a pill. Similarly, we've also picked up a card, but I'll talk more about that in a second. Pills have a random variety of effects. That's a new one. I've not seen that one before. That must be new from this DLC. A shot speed down, which affects how fast our shots fly. Oh, now the real fun begins. This is good. So the other item that you see down there as well, these are single-use consumables that you can use whenever you want. The other item we've got there is a tarot card, this one being the stars. Each one has a different effect. The stars will teleport you to an item room. which is actually pretty good. So we'll go down to the next one. We'll probably immediately use that. You can use it to escape certain rooms as well. Say you're in a curse room. You're on half a heart. You can use the stars to teleport out and not take any damage. Now, what we've got here is one of the most fun items in the game. This is Chaos. Chaos randomizes all the item pools. So I've talked about this a little bit before, especially with the boss rooms. Boss rooms will always have a kind of set collection of items. Treasure rooms will always have a set collection of items. You can't get, say, devil items in a treasure room. You can't get angel items in a treasure room. Similarly, you can't get devil or angel items in the boss room, with one rare exception, but I won't go into that. You know I gotta say that because there'll be someone in the comment section. Actually, what if you fight the Fallen? You know what those people are like. Anyway. So, with Chaos, you can. It randomizes everything. We might walk into a shop and there might be some real overpowered devil item for sale. We might happen to go into a secret room and find an angel item right there on the floor. Or nothing. Nothing of value has been found. Never mind. What was that item in the item room? We should go and re-roll that. I'm going to be extremely lazy here, but blowing up those guys does, as you can see there, give you a very slight increase. Oh yeah, you can get out. Moldy bread again? Fine. I'll take your moldy bread. There are genuinely, like, I'm not even kidding, maybe like 500, 600 items in this game. And we've got moldy bread twice. Oh, there's not even a battery charge in the shop. This is the worst day of my life. Okay. Hello? Oh, it's the dark one. He's a demon. Not too difficult. Now, there's also this kind of cool concept I like in Isaac, where you will fight... oh, they've retextured him. He looks so strange now. He has a bomb on his head. There's this concept as well in Isaac of posthumous enemies. So you might see an enemy that would, like a boss, that we defeat on one of these floors, coming back in kind of like an undead form, or a ghost form, or something like that. So the Dark One's posthumous form is actually really difficult. One of the more difficult bosses in the game anyway. He's called the Adversary. We might see it in the future. And also, I should point out, just because we beat the Dark One doesn't mean that his kind of undead posthumous version will turn up. And there are generally kind of like upgraded versions of bosses too. So Little Horn that we fought, you can fight, I guess kind of Loki is an upgraded version of Little Horn. But you might go into a boss room and there'll be 2 Little Horns, which isn't really much more difficult, to be honest. This guy's very easy. He's one of the easier bosses. Just takes a long time because he's obviously quite a fast mover. Can be quite difficult to hit him. I should point out as well, that shot speed down pill we got earlier can actually be pretty good. Certain shots you want to move slower. The longer they're in the air, right? The more chance they've got of actually hitting something. To an extent, anyway. Hello. This is a item that gives you slightly higher shot speed. They've changed the stats and I kind of hate it. What is that? Is that range? It must be a range upgrade. And then this coin here will give you a luck upgrade as well. Now again, this door here is to the alternate DLC floors. We're not going to worry about that. We're not going to worry about that for today. That's a tomorrow problem. Mainly because I have no idea what I'm doing in there. So this is Bone Marrow, I think it's called, right? Or just Marrow. That gives you a HP up in the form of a Bone Heart. Now, these Bone Hearts take Red Heart containers to fill. But if the Bone Heart itself breaks, you can't refill it. Unlike a regular Red Heart, where the container you'll always keep and you can refill it. Kind of Legend of Zelda style. So these are kind of a halfway point between Red Hearts and Spirit Hearts. Do they count as Red Heart damage? Oh, I actually don't know. The reason I'm asking that is because if we take Red Heart damage, of course, we lose our deal with the devil or potentially deal with the angel now. And I don't know if they count as Red Heart damage if you get hit. So you know what I'm going to do? Just don't get hit, idiot. The ultimate Isaac advice. Just don't get hit. Hello. Now, for this series, I should have already said this at the start. If you guys aren't really into Isaac, I'll just move it over to the second channel because I'm going to be playing it anyway, right? Because it's a new DLC for one of my favorite games of all time. So I'm going to be playing it anyway. I'll stick it up on the second channel. But if you guys do like it, that'd be quite nice. Turns out we can get hit. Just because with Isaac, the gameplay is so different every single time, within reason. And there's nothing to edit out. Which is fantastic, because Rimworld on this channel does genuinely take upwards of many hours to record. Similarly, well, record and edit and export. Similarly, so does Crusader Kings, or whatever we happen to be playing in the other series slot. another second channel, Skyrim, as well. I've started doing some heavy editing with that to cut out some of the more monotonous item inventory shuffling, that type of thing. So it would be real nice just to have a game I can boot up, record, and play and upload. That would be a genuine game changer. Be able to sleep at night. Could you imagine? So again, we're on the Caves 2 right now. So this Caves 2, you'll see a lot of enemies that we saw in the previous floor on the Caves 1. I wouldn't really say there's much of any sort of difficulty change between, like, Caves 1 and Caves 2. Do you want to go in the shop? We've got Chaos. What are you? You're Firemind. So Firemind has a chance to make shots explode when they contact an enemy, and light enemies on fire. We're not going to take that, because the problem with Firemind is you're just as likely to blow yourself up as you are enemies, and in certain situations, it's pretty good. In this situation, absolutely never. Wow, this is a horrible room. Don't think you can retexture these flies and make them any less obnoxious. These guys might not explode like the bomb flies, but they do explode into bullets, and when you've got very little area to actually dodge, it can be a bit of a pain in the ass. What have we got? Oh, keys. I'll take all the keys in the world. You'll generally find the deeper in the game you go, the more floors you go down, oh, that was bad. The more keys that you'll need. I should point out, we are still using base damage right now, and we are 4 floors in, which is unlucky. Not to be super unexpected, but kind of unlucky. Oh god. Okay. This is a smaller version of a full-on boss. Fistula, I think the boss is called. A long time since I played Isaac, so I don't really remember. This guy sucks. The actual full version of the boss is horrible. Especially on certain rooms where there is, like, fire and things like that. Oh, well, not fire necessarily, but spikes. Fire does hurt enemies as well, so you can use it to your advantage. Boy, I would love a damage upgrade. Now, we do have, don't forget, our wind-up homing bombs as well we can use on enemies, but I'll save that for, say, a particularly difficult boss or a boss that is susceptible to bombs or something like that. We're not going to try and waste it too much. Whoop! Careful there. Thought I could thread the needle on that one. Oh, God, I hate this. We might get... I really hope that we get some of the really powerful item upgrades. Not necessarily really powerful item upgrades, but some of the items that combo well together, because that really is the strength of Isaac if you've not really played it much. When you get, you know, say an item that fires lasers and an item that, you know, gives you homing tears, they'll combo together and you'll fire the best of both. You'll fire homing lasers. You might get one that allows you to shoot bombs rather than tears. And similarly, you might get, I don't know, a poison effect, at which point you'll shoot poison bombs. There's so many great combos to the items in this game. And of course, when I go to show it off, we get absolutely nothing. Although I'm sure everybody's probably played Isaac before. Or at least seen it, kind of out there in the world. Jesus. Quite tanky enemies in this room again. The flying boys aren't too bad, but the mushroom fellas are horrible. Especially when you have no damage. Now, depending on the character you start as, damage isn't necessarily so much of a difficult thing. There is, like, a lot of people used to go for big win streaks. I don't know if that's still a thing. Obviously, I don't really play the game much anymore. But with certain characters where you're looking for big win streaks, Isaac is a good bet, but there are characters like, say, Azazel, who is a character that starts with flying and the ability to shoot a short laser beam, which is obviously fantastic. That's the real speedrun character right there. He can carry himself all the way to the end of the game, no issues. Horrible bat creatures. I forgot you did that charge attack. Careful now. Sorry, I'm having to focus a lot more than I really wanted to because the game has been just horrible. Just horrible to us. Sir, I'd like this treasure. What the hell is even that? I don't know what you do. Broken padlock. Bombs are key. Oh, that's cool. So, you also get these items called trinkets. Bottom left-hand corner, as you can see there, that item is now on our bar. We can drop that whenever we want. Some trinkets have weird effects. Some trinkets are beneficial. Some trinkets have... They're not necessarily beneficial, but have a more situational use. This one allows us to... I did walk right into that poop. Let's not talk about it. This one allows us to, if there's a room with a lock on it, allows us to bomb it and move in through that way. We've already seen both our item and our shop. Wow. I should be looking for secret rooms a bit more frequently as well. But, oh, Jesus. There you go. That's what I was talking about. So now we've got a room with two Gurglings in it. I'm very annoyed at myself. I accidentally mashed spacebar to skip the cinematic and used our active item. That's okay. We're fine. Aren't we all fine here? If I get another item that's a range upgrade, I will scream, Isaac, and it will be your fault, and definitely not mine. Luckily, this one is an easier double trouble boss because it's a gigantic room. These guys, rather than dropping creep, drop bombs, which also hurts them, which makes it way easier than it needs to be honest. Oh, careful there. Okay. So what have we got? 33.8% chance of a devil deal. 33.8% chance of an angel. This item's actually good. Again, not a regular boss item, but an item that we got from Chaos. Infamy. Blocks damage sometimes. So occasionally when you're hit, you won't take any damage. There's a damage upgrade, thank God. Martyr. Blood of the Martyr gives a damage up. 1.69. So we've gone from 3.5 there to 5.19. Now, blue fires, when you blow them up, can sometimes give spirit hearts. I'm also going to blow up this man here, which will spawn another boss fight, the angel. What are they called? They called Gabriel and the other one, Michelangelo, Donatello. I don't remember. Careful now. They both have kind of different movesets. One angel has the red robes. One angel has the blue robes. The angel in red fires laser beams and summons these guys. The other guy's a bit more aggressive with laser beams, from what I remember. Doesn't do so much summoning, though. Now, these guys, when you beat them, drop a special item that I'm hoping isn't affected by chaos, as far as I recall. Ow. It's definitely not, because that would be a bit silly. But this unique item that they drop will allow us to fight a very unique boss. Infamy came in there and blocked that shot from the guy. I'll be honest, we didn't really have enough damage to warrant the risk of fighting an angel right now, but I'm doing it so I can show you guys hopefully a cool boss fight at the end of all this. 32 minutes? We're on the caves too? I would estimate that your average complete Isaac run, so from start to finish, right to the bottom floor, in total there's about 11 floors, something like that. We're on floor number 4, incredibly. For a complete run, I'd estimate, on average, 30 to 40 minutes. We're at 33 minutes, and we are barely halfway through. We'll get a powerful item soon, I promise. We'll get a big, powerful item, which will allow us to, hopefully, skip up the majority of this game. There we go. The fire meta there really did come in clutch. Nothing. So picking up a key piece also gives us an increased chance at another angel deal. I guess we're an angel boy now. Of course, we get this tough as nails. Well, it's not really tough as nails run, but we'd get a not ideal run as the welcome to Isaac run. Careful there. This floor, though, I got a good feeling about this floor. This time I'm gonna get one of the crazy items. I can see it. I can smell it. And if we don't, I will cry. That is partially my own fault. I would have probably re-rolled Martyr, to be honest with you. Even though it's a safe damage upgrade, there are a lot of really good angel items. The only reason you don't generally go for angel rooms is because, much like that first devil room we had, they have a propensity to not spawn any items at all, and I feel like that's a much more frequent thing with the angel rooms. You might, go in there and get nothing, so it's not worth the gamble compared to the devil room, which is much more likely. I need to start playing better, because our hit points have taken a serious beating. A good item also would help out quite a lot. Watch out for the bonies. The bony skeletons are actually surprisingly tough because they've got really fast, fairly accurate projectiles. Come on, bony skeleton. Ooh. How many shots does it take to kill a bony man? For those of you who played Isaac before, you might also realize the kind of new sound effects they've got. A new kind of visual effects too, like the keys sparkle a bit more. The bonies, when we killed them, they're exploded into. Here's something we can do. So we picked up another tarot card, the Fool, which allows you to teleport out of rooms. And in this case, I will absolutely be doing that. It takes you back to the start of the floor. So I'm going to steal your items, and then I'm going to run away, because that was horrible. All that, and we got like a key and a coin. We've had a lot more trap rooms, actually, on this floor, which is much, much better for us. When you learn how the trap rooms work, they're generally quite easy. Oh. I don't know if you heard that laughter then. That's a nice audio clue to say, hey, stupid, watch out. But generally, when you get used to things like this in Isaac, it's a lot easier. Oh, thank you. A free heart, you say? You can blow those skulls up yourself with the bombs. It's not really worth it because they've got kind of a low drop rate on the hearts. It's like 25% or something like that. Hello. Whoa, you're new. I don't like that at all. Horrible three-eyed man. Okay. This is going to take a little bit of care. Which I'm quite famously known for. Oh, come on. He was despawned at that point. Right, actually, I'm refunding this. Unbelievable. Oh, careful. Boy, I wish we had more. Oh, infamy. Infamy has saved us so many times. I owe you my life, sir. Oh, you're different. What do you do? Oh, they're just retextured. That's okay. It turns out it was absolutely not okay. So we can trade some keys for bombs. Now, given that bombs are key, it is absolutely worth trading one key for essentially 2 keys. And also something we can use as damage if push comes to shove. Push is very much coming to shove. So these guys will flight you pretty fast, but they won't flight you when they're on the way back to their original position. So you just need to bait those out. Oh, yeah, shop. Oh, you guys have been retextures as well. Hello. Okay, let's go in our shop. We've got 19 coins, so we might, you never know, we might be able to buy an incredible devil item from the shop. Or we'll probably get complete crap. On average, chaos can be very averaging. And I mean that, I know that's a bit redundant, but what I mean by that is normally you bank on your devil deals or your boss items or your angel rooms to give you a good damage upgrade. With chaos, there is no such guarantee. We might get complete crap for the rest of this run. Or we might get Dr. Fetus. We've saved it. Team, we fire bombs. You remember earlier when we picked up homing bombs too? We fire homing bombs. Oh, saved it. Oh, that is good. Mwah. Perfect. And of course, bombs for us have a lot of utility. We can blow up blocks with bombs. We've got homing bombs. They do a shitload more damage than our tiers. And we can blow up things like these skulls. Get a bit more hit points. We can find secret rooms a lot easier. Come on. There we go. Oh, this is a game changer right here, my friends. All that perseverance was worth it. Dr. Fetus coming in the clutch. We'll go and find the item room too. We're in relatively safe hands, but those bombs can blow us up. And, I mean, this is me we're talking about, so, you know what? Sometimes you've got to take risks in life. That was not one of those times. I'm looking at the clock counting down and I'm thinking, you know what? I don't think it's worth trying to gamble it anymore, is it? Okay, what have you got for me? I have no idea what that is. It kind of... I won't lie, it does look a bit phallic. Penis. Sausage. Oh, it actually was a... It was a penis. It actually was a penis. I've never been more betrayed in my life. So all stats up. There are a few all stats up items. Sorry, can I get that? Well, it's on the screen now, so you're just going to have to deal with that. It doesn't look... It's not overtly... No, it is. It is. I can't even hide that. All stats up items are obviously very nice. Some are much better than others. For example, Mega Mushroom, which you get for blowing up mushrooms, will generally, for the most part... Oh my god, we're shredding them. I mean, they will also shred us. These guys you have to kind of kill at an equal time, which is what I was aiming to do there. One gets enraged if the other dies first. Little chest, as you will occasionally just drop items for you to pick up keys, bombs, whatever. Yeah, magic mushroom, though, like I was saying, you get from blowing up mushrooms. You can also find it in just regular treasure rooms. That doubles your damage. We've got to be very careful here, because we've got no... Forgot everything I was about to say. I was about to say we've got to be very careful here, because we've got no spirit hearts, and I quite like a deal with the devil. It doesn't really matter that much, because we've got... You know, we've got... chaos anyway, so every room's essentially deal with the devil. Rib of Greed? From what I recall... what does that do? Does that spawn 2 shops on each floor? Or is that the one that makes it so greed always appears? I actually don't remember. Not massively relevant either way. Do we want to go in the curse room? Well, we've already taken red heart damage, so I want to see why not. Hello there. Give me an item. Well, I'll take that. Oh, I'll take it in a second, actually. Right, okay. Now, getting hit by an enemy on a floor with red heart damage does lower your deal with the devil. It doesn't completely remove it. But if you are hit in the boss room for red heart damage, that basically removes it. There are very few things you can do at that point to get your deal with the devil. Oh! We can barely outrun those. That frightens me. Oh, bombs are key. That pill changed all of our bombs into keys. Actually, why am I concerned about that? We've got literally infinite bombs. That was actually pretty good. Granted, bombs are also key. It's very confusing. So I'm going to be on the lookout for secret rooms now. The reason I bring that up is because that last room could be a secret room. So there are two types of secret room. There are main secret rooms and then second secret rooms. Main secret rooms can spawn between two other rooms that are accessible on both sides. So you have to be able to get into the secret room from all sides. So if there are rooms that just happen to have that kind of... Oh, brilliant. The golden bomb, when you pick it up, gives you infinite bombs for that one floor. We already have infinite bombs. Very funny. This game's got a great sense of humor. Careful now. So that's kind of an easy... Brilliant. That's kind of an easy tell on certain rooms. Now, one thing we can do, as I did there, is you can... Ow? You can bomb your way out of certain rooms. So if certain rooms are getting particularly tricky... Ah, why not? If certain rooms are getting tricky, you can kind of blow your way out of them. I'll start being a bit more careful now, sorry. It's talking and playing at the same time. It's a fine art that I've been doing for 2 years, but you know how it is. Now, what is this? They've made... Oh, is that a treasure chest room? Right, okay. So for 2 keys, we have infinite keys because we swapped our infinite bombs for keys, and as a result, we've now got infinite keys. Oh, hello. Ah, hello there. Pandora's Box is an item that has a different effect on each floor. You can use it whenever you like. I believe on this floor it spawns in 2 items. I've been bamboozled. Or, no, to be honest, with Chaos, we can go to the shop and potentially buy all the items we want. We need something that allows us to get a bit more... Well, a bit less red hearts. The Emperor. Oh, that's nice. Tears upgrade we don't really need. I'll take that, though. Loads and loads of spirit hearts. More than happy to see it. The Magician for homing bombs. Here you go. So this is what I was talking about. We've already got homing bombs, but these are like aggressively homing now. Right, let's go and fight the boss then, because there's not really much else for us to do on this floor. Oh, God, this room again. Please get me out. Oh! That was close. I'm a professional. Now, this run would definitely not be a high score run. Mainly because I've taken an absolute pounding from just about every enemy we've seen. But time is... Hello? What are you? You take coins? What the hell is this, man? There's also a bomb guy, which we can trade our things with. Gives us a... Oh, he gives you a charge? You can pay for an item charge. Oh, that's not bad. Well, that guy's actually really good. Sorry, I had a bit of a coughing fit there. Yeah, that guy's really cool. He's another new character from the DLC then. We won't use him to... Oh, he drops an item. Now, that item... looks like a reskin of an old item, which just gives you a health upgrade, which I'm not interested in. Hopefully this guy will, well, pay out, I was going to say, but never mind. Oh my God, there's loads of beggars. Hello. So, Demon Beggar is quite nice. So, he trades red hearts for certain rare items. Brilliant. In this situation, we've got... Oh, they've patched it, you horrible people. In this situation where we've got Chaos, he can obviously just give us anything. I don't know what that is. It's a stapler. It gives us a damage upgrade. Brilliant. Okay. And this guy I'm just going to blow up because we haven't got enough bombs to be feeding to... Oh, he's so angry. You can't blow him up. Oh, no. Well, that's new. Okay. We'll re-roll that item when we come back later. What was I talking about? I don't remember. Oh, well, but because we've got Chaos, obviously everything is equally as valuable now, so it doesn't really matter. Cartridge. Brief invincibility, potential on being hit, like Pac-Man, basically. Not very good. Certainly when we've got infinite bombs, I would rather be able to make up for if we potentially ever run out of keys. I don't think we will. Is that actually how it works? We just go, oh yeah, that's great. This item sucks. It's the only item I know from the new DLC. It's fake PhD. It makes pills worse. But in exchange, you get an evil heart. One of the black hearts. I'm not going to take that. I'm going to take you, though. Eye drops for tears up. Now we can fire bombs faster and blow ourselves up even quicker still. Brilliant. Right, let's go back and reroll that other item we got back there. The sensor. Flies around and slows tiers, I think, that go into it, but I don't really remember. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Oh, hello, another one. You used to be able to, with these guys, if you walked into them fast enough, you used to be able to feed them while you were kind of invincible. When you take damage, you get a few frames of invincibility. While you're invincible, you're able to feed them again without them actually doing damage to you, but they've apparently fixed that in this DLC. Oh, that's frustrating. Never mind. Ah, you again. Boy, this is not a good sign for Welcome to Isaac. 45 minutes and we're in the bloody depths too. Good lord. We'll definitely pick up some speed now we've got this guy. And to be fair, I've been doing a lot of things in this particular run that necessarily you wouldn't do. Like a lot of backtracking. You wouldn't necessarily do that if you are a bit more experienced at things. I certainly wouldn't do it. And as you can tell, I am basically an expert. That's a joke. I would have definitely said at one point I was an expert, but certainly not anymore. Oh, a second secret room. So that takes us back to my previous point. First secret rooms you will generally find, well, as we found before, in between some other rooms. But second secret rooms will be in an area where there are no other rooms adjacent. Range upgrade isn't bad. That one does functionally nothing. Speed upgrade is nice. Now, pills, you don't know what they do until you take them. And some pills can be terrible. Balls of Steel is not one of those. That gives you a bunch of spirit hearts. Those pills, for the most part, were pretty good. And now for the mum fight. So the mum fight is one of the most important fights in the game. Oh, they've changed it? Hello. Does she do things different now? Well, she's got a new texture, but maybe she doesn't actually do anything different. Okay, let's be careful here. Can be quite overwhelming, obviously, for first-time players. This is the boss that you will fight very, very frequently in the early game. And the way the game works is the first time you play Isaac, you can only get down to this point of the game. And you have to beat Mum 10 times, you know, with kind of various different characters and pick up items and whatever, before you can unlock the floors after that. Then when you beat the floors after that, you unlock these Polaroids, which allow you to go even further still. So apologies if this is confusing, but this is kind of endgame Isaac, because it's just using the same save I had before. This one will allow you to go to evil floors in the future. Sheol, which is essentially hell, and then the dark chest. This one allows you to go to the cathedral and the light chest. I think everybody knows that the light chest is, or just the regular chest, is a lot more fun. A lot more fun. You get items in a lot of rooms, but to make up for it, every single room is a boss fight, which isn't as tedious as it sounds, as you'll see when we get there. Mr. Fred? I haven't fought Mr. Fred in ages. I completely forgot you were a boss. Again, sorry for skipping over the cutscene there. It is quite literally muscle memory. Mr. Fred is very much one of the easier ones. Now, on these floors, the womb, or they can be the utero or the scarred womb. Any of those are kind of variations on the same thing. There are no item rooms and there are no treasure rooms, except for certain very unique circumstances, like a trinket or something enabling them. These floors, you just want to find the boss fight as soon as possible, which is why I used the Emperor there. Wow, this is bizarre. So in this situation, we can take either Mum's Wig, which gives you itchy spider friends that come out of your hair, or we can take Ceremonial Robes that give you black hearts. Normally, Ceremonial Robes is a devil with the deal item. Yeah, whatever. You trade like one red heart for many spirit hearts. They've since rebalanced it, so it's shit now. I'm going to take Mum's Itchy Wig and get Spider Friends. So the way Spider Friends work is they do damage 2.5 times your damage. In this situation, our damage is 10. So when that spider walks into an enemy, the enemy's going to feel it. And look at how much easier that was now. So we've completed the key. And that will allow us to fight a very unique boss. I'm actually glad I get to show that off during this first episode. Essentially the longest run possible. There are alternate ways you can go. Which we will, I guess, if the opportunity arises. I wouldn't normally, because I find the alternate routes to be kind of a bit boring. But if we get the opportunity, I'll do it just to show you guys. Okay. Now, these floors, again, kind of suck. I won't lie. Shot speed down with bombs. Sounds absolutely horrible. So I'm going to throw that on the floor, and we're never going to talk about it again. Just in case I accidentally swallow the pill. These floors, generally, you just want to rush to the boss. They are a little bit boring, I will admit. Mainly because absolutely nothing happens at all in them. Unless you've got those, like I said, unique items. You do get curse rooms and things like that still. There is a boss fight room over there. Careful now. So that's very similar to that other treasure room we fought. But with that one, you can only go in if you've got 1 heart. And every enemy that spawns is a boss, unsurprisingly. Oh, Dr. Fetus. How you are going to give us so many kind gifts. Now, along with tarot cards, you can get other unique single-use consumables, like Magic the Gathering cards legitimately do spawn in. They're not obviously Magic the Gathering cards, because that would be... they're inspired. They're not copyright infringing anyway. You can also get runes. This one is the Hagalaz rune, which, when you use it, will destroy all of the rocks on a room. Could be particularly useful for enemies that, are maybe particularly aggressive in a room with a lot of rocks that you want to take out from a distance. Now, that sensor item you might have noticed there, when it goes over an enemy or a shot, will slow down, well, enemies or shots. As you can see by that little snail symbol above enemies. You're new. Hello. Like a little baby Pin. Pin is a boss. He's a bigger version of those guys, unsurprisingly. Wow. Nature do be like that. Careful now. The problem with reducing sometimes the speed of shots is obviously they are on the screen longer. And do they unlock those as well, given that bombs are key? Bombs are key! Best day of my life. The problem with that, of course, is that, shots lingering on the screen is sometimes not a good thing. As you'll probably see in this boss fight. Now, those homing shots are... Yeah, so this sensor is going to make the bosses somewhat unpredictable. And to be honest, keeping bosses predictable is kind of the best thing to do. So there are some tiers, for example, that can make bosses and enemies gain something called fear. Yeah, see, what we almost can't dodge these. Fear shot makes enemies unpredictable, and as a result, I wouldn't always recommend taking it. Jesus, this is a time trial. We've got to kill this guy before they kill us, because we are not going to get past this otherwise. Now, when you defeat Mum 10 times the first time you play Isaac, that will unlock the abilities come down to here. And then here is where, once again, the game will stop until you defeat this person 10 times. I make it sound like a grind, but it really does not feel like that. It feels like you're exploring and learning new things, and it's a lot more fun than it sounds. The trapdoor down will lead you to hell. The trapdoor, or the beam of light up will ascend you to heaven. Which is where I'm going to go. So, I feel like it's my duty to go here. Curse of darkness in the cathedral. Which makes things very dark. What the hell are those eyeballs? Oh, I don't like that. You're new. Well, that's interesting. I quite like those. Spooky laser eyeballs. Generally, those beams of light coming down there are associated with... What the hell is that thing? That's a bishop? Oh, no. That's bad news for Isaac. Okay, there we go. What was I talking about? Generally, those beams of light you'll associate with more holy items. So, like, well, I mean, as we've seen there, apparently holy eyeballs. But the angels obviously fire beams of light. The holy feather will fire beams of light. There's a holy item you get from the angel room that when you're hit, you will drop beams of light. God, I do not like these at all. They telegraph their attacks pretty well. I think they're quite easy to avoid, but a room filled with them does not sound like very much fun at all. Boy, this is dark. And again, this is another one of the many curses. Curse of darkness. We do have the sensor, though, which is helping out very slightly. It's quite a nice little touch, actually. Oh, it's Bomb-On. Or Bomberman. Should say Bomberman, shouldn't I? But this is one of the 7 sins. They're kind of mini boss fights. We fought one earlier called Envy, and you know what? I think I forgot to talk about it. But Envy is... Oh, those guys don't do damage. They steal your charges. Oh, that's kind of cool, if not a little bit annoying. Liberty Cap gives you a random mushroom effect. So it can make you smaller, larger, weird things like that. We're not going to take that. It's a trinket. Same with that one. Maggie's Faith gives you, at the end of a floor... Oh, sorry, at the beginning of a floor, a... kind of half a silver heart, and they're called eternal hearts, and if you complete a floor and you've still got an eternal heart, they will turn into a full-blown red heart, which is apparently what we're doing this run. Now, one of the reasons I wouldn't recommend red hearts is the item we picked up, the Polaroid. If you are hit while you have the Polaroid and you have half a red heart, it will make you invincible for a pretty significant amount of time, to be honest. And as a result, if you can find a way to get rid of all your red hearts by trading them with the devil, for example. That's the easiest method. There are items that convert red hearts, or you can try and keep your health just naturally down to half a red heart. It can give you a lot of invincibility. It basically makes you unkillable. But this time, though, with no deals with the devil, it's a bit of a weird run. And that's the cathedral. The cathedral, the same as the womb floors that we saw, womb, utero, scarred utero, they're all the same kind of thing with variation. Those don't have treasure rooms and shops, neither does this one. And the boss for this floor is Isaac. Of course I know him. He's me. Another bullet hell boss, which is going to be made infinitely harder by the fact that we've got an item that's supposed to help us, but there we are. He's really not a difficult boss at all. There are some real bullet hell bosses in this game. Oh, they've changed it. So, the way this boss used to work is you used to be able to hide in a corner, and if you hid in a corner adjacent to where the beams started spawning in, I actually don't know how you're supposed to avoid them now. You actually wouldn't take any damage, but apparently they've nerfed that. You used to be able to hide here. Oh, maybe it's still the same. Maybe I just went on the wrong corner like a fool. I'm not entirely sure. So this is, again, where routes diverge. Now, this one is kind of random. That portal can appear randomly at certain points at this level or the next level. That will take you to, I would say, the worst floor in the game in terms of gameplay. It is hard, but it's not bad because it's hard. Does that make sense? We'll go there after we beat this floor, if we can. So you remember that key we collected from the angels? That unlocks a really big door right there, which we will see in a minute. So every treasure chest on this floor, the chest, the final floor of the game, traditionally, you can go a few other routes to kind of final special floors, but this is where the game will end if you want it to. Every chest on this floor will have an item in it. Do I take this? Yeah, why not? Bit of fun. Monstro's Lung allows you to charge up attacks. And you kind of get this shotgun blast scatter shot effect. We've got bombs. That's silly. I like it. We'll take the compass because that shows us where to go to kind of roughly, it will show you where item rooms, shops, and bosses are. There's only a boss on this floor, so we know roughly the direction we need to go in. The other two items here, I'm going to re-roll. Neither are particularly good, I won't lie. Book of Secrets will pick up there. Now, if you pick up an item, it removes it from the item pool. That's also true of active items. So if we pick that up, we will never see it again. So it's always worth just grabbing them once. The other one gives us... Oh, we'll take it. Why not? It gives us an evil heart. It gives us a speed and damage upgrade. To be honest, I'm doing it for the speed, for the most part. Now, to be honest, these homing bombs are going to get a little bit clusterfucky. Partially the reason why I took that item there, to try and give us a bit more health. Because this is going to be... This is really going to be something. Is that a mini charge battery? Wow, I've not seen those before either. That's a new DLC item. Did we just kill Sister Viz in like a single shot? That is high tier. We've gone from an awful run to insanely high damage. But you had to survive to get up to this point, don't forget. Hello. I can't remember what this guy is called. What is he called? He's called like Fetus or something like that. So these are all bosses we could have fought at other points in the game. We've got Megamore, who has a big mouth. That one back there, I can't remember what he's called, but it's something like Fetus. He will chase you around while the other little invincible ghost fires laser beams at you. This guy is Dingle. I think we've seen him a couple of times, but you can fight him in a boss room too. Just does a load of charge attacks, fairly easy boss. Now, this is traditionally the final boss of the game, before they added new alternate routes with the new DLC. This is Blue Baby. This is the previous Isaac fight we fought, but harder, because he also spawns enemies and has homing shots. In his second phase, he also doesn't do the kind of beams of light. So interestingly, we didn't get, you know that portal we saw on the last floor? There's a chance for it to spawn there, or there's a chance for it to spawn here. That will take you to a, again, not the most fun floor, I will admit. If you get in that chest, that's the end of the game. Congratulations, you win. We're not going to do that. We killed those angels, and I won't lie, getting the key to unlock this door back here isn't easy. You have to kill the enemy behind this door to kind of complete your checklist for each character. And when you try to do it, it seems like you can never do it. That might have been a bad idea. Continuum gives you tears that fly off one side of the screen and come back on the other side. Okay, luckily it doesn't work with bombs, so we're okay there. Mega Satan. Regular Satan, but bigger, faster, criminally insane. Here he is. I wonder if they've changed the Mega Satan fight at all. To be honest, we're absolutely going to annihilate this guy. It's another bullet hell boss, made much harder by the sensor. Probably shouldn't have taken it in hindsight, but, you know, I feel like it's my duty to show off some of these items for our first few runs. So when you defeat his hands, he gets very angry, and then his head starts doing a load of beam attacks. To be honest, this is a very overpowered run at this stage. And bear in mind, the items that we got, we could have found on the first floor. We could have found Monstrous Lung on floor 1, and we could have found Dr. Feast on floor 2, and you could have been this powerful from the very early game. The enemies that we're fighting now are the 4 horsemen. So Death, War, we just killed Pestilence and Famine. That guy over there was Death. That one is War. Who's proving to be a right pain in the arse. Then Mega Satan gets his hands back. So then you basically repeat what you did the first time around. Don't you do that laser. This boss can be a bit overwhelming again if you fight him for the first time. Oh, he can apparently also spawn in... He was always able to do that, right? Spawn in that boy there, whose name I can't remember. So now we've got... Is that Pride? I don't even remember what that guy was called. We had Pride and... Gluttony? God, I don't remember what these guys are called. Anyway. This one's Ultra Pride, I think. The 7 Sins is what I'm getting at. I really do not remember what the names are. And these are all mini-bosses you can just randomly come across in rooms in the game. Ooh, I'm taking a lot of damage from this guy. Mainly because we're firing bombs fucking everywhere, and this guy's absolutely everywhere. Quick, Hagalaz, get him. That didn't do anything, I'm sorry. 21,000 points, by the way, is absolutely terrible. Just really terrible. But also runs... This has gone on twice as long as it should. That's Lust, and this one is Wrath. Oh, God. There's Gluttony, Greed. The man what spits out bombs, whose name I can't remember. What are you? I can't remember which one you are. I think Greed. Lust? Pride? Could be Pride. Don't remember. We could be in a lot bit of trouble here. Especially if I walk into his very easy to avoid attacks. Because we are not quite done yet. So now he will summon dark versions, fallen angels of the angels that we fought previously. Luckily, with the amount of bombs that we're able to spit out here, these guys are very, very easy. I gotta itch my nose. Please don't kill me. Sorry, I said please don't kill me. I gotta itch my nose. Okay. We're almost there. Are we gonna beat Mega Satan with half a heart? Well, probably. I won't lie. Please die. Sir, please die. Sensor! Sensor! Is dead? Hey, get out of here. Good lord. So I got really itchy nose right now. It's making things a little bit harder. Hey, he's dead. We've done it, everyone. We've beaten Mega Satan. Oh, no. It's Mega Satan. And now he gets made of bone. Now, he doesn't have a health bar, but there are kind of tells for... Oh, actually, Sensor's really good against the flame, though, eh? So he'll start to crack as we do damage to him here. You notice cracks appearing in his skin, and when he gets fully cracked, he dies. I'm actually surprised at the amount of damage he is tanking here, because this is an absurd amount of damage we're firing at this guy. Fuck. Well, I don't like this. Whoa. Hello there. There you go. We've got some cracks going. Please die. Please die. This is horrible. Worst day of my life. Welcome to Isaac. Here's all the things not to do in Isaac. I mean, it's a great tutorial if you watch him do the opposite. Please, sir. Okay. I'm going to just kind of scoot past you there, if that's okay. Please die. He's almost gone. Well. I won't lie to you. This has been quite close to the wire. Sir? Sir? Oh, good lord. That was close. Well, that was a little touch and go there. There we go. Honestly, there was never a doubt in my mind that we were going to win this run. Evidently, otherwise I wouldn't have won it. And there you go. We have won. The Binding of Isaac. God, I need to lie down. I can't make this a series. Thanks for watching. I've made some horrible regrets in my life. This is one of them. I thought, oh, this would be easy. I'll sit down, I'll play Isaac for half an hour. That'll be a big difference to RimWorld that takes 4 hours, or Crusader Kings that takes 3 hours, or Skyrim that takes 2 hours. I'll just sit down, hit the record button for half an hour, go about my day. But no, you had to give me no damage and a Mega Satan run. Anyway, if you want to see more Isaac, please let me know. And of course, we will continue on with this playthrough, and we'll check out some of the DLC content, and you can watch me die over and over and over. Thank you, of course, to the patrons. Sorry, I don't know my Patreon list because this was kind of an impromptu series. I wasn't really planning on doing it. And then I thought, you know what? No, I like games and I'm going to play this one. Big thanks to all the patrons, of course, for their continued support for the channel. If you guys are enjoying it, please let me know and we will continue. If not, I'll do it on the second channel. So I'm going to continue either way. It's just whether or not you want it here or somewhere else. Whether you want to make my life harder or not.